Guess what? It's on video.
This is no picture.
It's on video.
Yes, this video.
Here's lunch. Chicken and... what do you call this in Arabic?
Kofta.
This is the kofta. And in Arabic, the chicken? Just, but in Arabic, how would you say it?
Preve.
Preve.
Chicken and preve.
Okay, okay. And some bread, soup, rice, baba ganoush, tahini, tomatoes, all the good stuff. This is Egypt, the Nile River, Cairo. This is my trusty driver, Carlos. And the Great Pyramids are out there, Giza.
Mr. Saeed.
Okay. Hello, Saeed.
Hello.
Gabriel.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Where are
meet
you
you.
from?
United States.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
How are you?
You are welcome, Mr. Saeed.
Wait,
First time here?
يلا عندك حصان ولا بعتك حصان من عندي؟
All right.
I give you good guide with you.
Let's do this. See you, Barry. Later. I'm not sure if we're going inside here. Fine. We go inside here? Yeah, cool. There's some kind of back entrance, it seems like. I remember the entrance before. I was here 10 years ago exactly. 2009. There they are. Talking to the camera.
No problem.
What is this on the right? Is it like the workers'
New exhibition.
a new excavation?
Yes.
Okay, so they don't know what...
More he dig, more he find.
So they don't really know what it is yet?
This one, that's the tomb for the worker.
The tomb for the workers, okay.
And all to the left side, this side, all this up beginning of Sahara Desert.
Yes.
5,000 miles from here will go Libya. You know Libya?
Yes.
Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Fayoum, Oasis.
5,000 miles.
Yes. Want to go Libya by camel? I take you there.
Yes, we can arrive tomorrow.
Okay. No
Only
problem.
2 days?
About 6 weeks only.
Only 6 weeks, all right. Look at that view. Incredible. Khufu on the right, Khafre in the middle, Mancari on the left. And there's the Sphinx. And Cairo. Wow. This is phenomenal. And then there's 3 extra pyramids. Is it to the right? Because there's nine pyramids, yes?
9 pyramids. 3 big for the king and 6 small for the queen and daughter.
Okay, so three Queen's pyramids on the left.
And you have a 3 behind the big one.
And 3 on the right, okay.
Here you have a 3 behind the third one for the daughter, and you have a 3 behind the big one for the queen.
Oh, the Queen's is on the right. Ah, I didn't. I thought
the big one.
I thought this was the Queen's pyramids.
Because,
Okay,
Because the big one, the father of King Khafre,
I see.
and this one, the father of the King Mancari.
And Sphinx is also Khafre,
The Sphinx is only one piece of stone.
but the face is
Face a king, King Khafre.
Yeah. All right.
You know the name for your camel?
What is it?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
It's a good name.
Move down.
Yeah. He's a good dancer.
Yeah.
This camel.
يا حصان اخو يا عم اخد يا رضا اديني قاعد اهو شيء 1000 years old before the Christ.
5,000 years before Christ. The pyramids?
All the area.
I see.
Yes.
5,000 BC, so about 7,000 years old.
5000 BC before the Christ.
Yes. The Great Pyramid is same?
Yeah. You have another area, Saqqara.
Yes,
Saqqara?
I'm going there. I'm going there also next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saqqara pyramid before 7000 BC before the Christ.
I see, even older.
This the Saqqara pyramid, that's number 4 dynasty.
The
This
4th
one,
dynasty.
Number 5 dynasty.
I see.
You understand?
Yes, of the dynasty of the pharaohs.
Yes.
Yeah. And so this is the daughter's pyramids on the left, yes?
Huh?
Yes, 3. And Mancari. Khafre with the marble casing on the top still. Khufu or Cheops in the background.
This one, the alabaster stone.
Alabaster, okay. Yeah.
And this one with the granite stone.
Okay. Granite, okay.
All this new exhibition.
New excavation, okay.
Yeah. You find it, some tomb down there.
Yeah. And so these are the Queen's pyramids ahead, yes?
The Queen pyramid there.
Yeah.
They have the 3 queens.
Yeah. And there goes my camel guide. I'm on my own now. Going to explore around some more. All right, so I'm going to walk around here and then head down to the Sphinx a little bit later. So as you can maybe hear in my voice, got a really bad cold and cough and stuff going on. So this is my 4th day in Egypt, and I hadn't gotten around to getting out and exploring because of the cold, but this is also my last day in Egypt. I am flying tomorrow out of the country, and I had to do this, you know, no matter how I was feeling. So I'm just going for it. And after the pyramids, then I'm going next to Saqqara and then Memphis. So this is going to be a really amazing day tour. So this is my second time to Egypt. I was here 10 years ago and spent 3 weeks exploring the country, including the pyramids here and Aswan, Luxor, the Dakhla Oasis, the Khafre Oasis. And so I saw a lot more of the country on that trip. This is just a short stop in Egypt. I flew here from Erbil, Iraq, in Iraqi Kurdistan, spent a week in Iraqi Kurdistan, and flying tomorrow to a country that I've been to many times before to kind of take a break from the intense past 5 months of traveling. But I wanted to revisit this wonder of the world. The Great Pyramids are the only remaining... No thanks. This is the crazy zone. Oh no thanks, I did the camel already, so...
Maybe later?
Yeah, no thanks, man.
Good price, your friend.
Oh, I'm okay, sir. So the Great Pyramids of Giza here are the only remaining wonder of the world of the original 7 wonders of the world.
Please, can you take?
No, no thanks.
Please, please, please.
No thanks.
Can you fall?
I'm going to guess that these guys are going to want to...
What's your name?
Gabriel, what is your name?
My name is Ali. My name is Ali Ashraf.
Ali?
Ashraf.
Okay. Ali and...
And Muhammad.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yes, yes. Phone. رقم فوق.
Sorry?
What's your telephone number?
No thanks, man. I bet those guys were going to try to charge me for taking a picture of them or something like that. Like, it just kind of seemed like a scam thing. The guy asked for my phone number. And so this is Khafre, the second largest of the pyramids. And you can see on the top there, it has the leftover of the like alabaster casing that would have covered the entire pyramid. And I believe that all of them would have had that on them originally. And so they would have been gleaming white. You wouldn't have seen the blocks. It would have been just a straight, smooth surface. That would have been a really beautiful sight, reflecting the sunlight. And so when you think about the numbers of how many blocks are involved in creating these. Okay, so the guy on the horse, my guide, had said 5,000 BC. And I was saying 2,500 BC, 4,500 years old, which is correct. That is what it says on Wikipedia. And so the date of the Khafre's pyramid, 2520 to 2494 BC, about 4,500 years old. So there is the Great Pyramid, also called Khufu or Cheops, the largest of the 3 pyramids. Hello.
Hello.
And I believe that it is made of about 2 million stone blocks.
What's your country?
United States. What is your country?
Egypt.
Egypt. Where in Egypt? Cairo?
Cairo.
Cairo, cool. What's your name?
Hamdu Shukari.
Hamdu Shukon. Say again? Hamdu Shukon.
Halim Tari Shukari.
Halum, it's difficult for me. Halum Shudu.
Sorry, difficult.
It's okay, man. No, thank you. So, I believe that it is made of 2 million stone blocks. And if you do the math on that, then if you spent 100 years constructing it, 365 times 100 is 36,500, and divided into 2 million, that is about 60 blocks per day. Assuming that you were working about 12 hours a day, every day, 12 divided into 60 is 5. That is 5 blocks per hour. That is 1 block every 12 minutes going into position. And those blocks are about 2 tons, which is 4,000 pounds. And they're in a perfect configuration such that, as I understand it, then the edge of the pyramid is facing true north so precisely they could not recreate that level of precision today with modern technology. It is just so perfectly perpendicular to true north. I'm not entirely certain if that is correct. I've read that, but the orientation of the pyramids is obviously deliberate. They didn't just, you know, put them up there wherever. They oriented it to the 4 cardinal directions. Now, I don't recall how long it is believed that it took to construct each of the pyramids. Maybe it was only 50 years, over a 50-year period. And so then you have to double everything. And it's 1 block every 6 minutes, 4,000 pounds each, with absolute perfect precision. So it is just kind of impossible, it seems like, that these things exist at all. Just out of the blue, they create these monumental structures. And so that is just the placing of these stones in position. You then have to figure that they had to create these stones. You don't just find stone blocks lying around. You have to create the blocks. You also have to transport them from wherever they came from, up the Nile River, I think, and get them down here. And so that number, and you know, every 6 minutes, every 10 minutes or whatever, you have to apply that to everything, the creation of the blocks, the moving of the blocks. It just absolutely staggers the mind to consider what it actually took and the vision that these people had to create these, that they thought that they could actually do this, and then they did do it. These things just should not exist, basically. They should not be here. Hello, sir.
Are you happy today?
Yes, very good. And so you can see a big gap in the Mancari Pyramid there. I'll go get closer and explain what that is about. And so this is Mancari, and you can see the gash in the pyramid there. And that is a result of some guy who decided that he was going to try to dismantle the pyramids and take them down.
Hello, nice to meet you.
I don't know why. Hello, no thank you, sir. No thanks. And so he tried to take this one down and ultimately decided that it was too much work, and he stopped, and that is as far as he got, fortunately. And that is just a little small gash in the smallest of the pyramids, so these things are not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Same time period, 2490 to 2472 BC, 4,500 years old. And as you get up closer to these things and look at the stone blocks and how closely they are fit together, it just hits you again the massive undertaking of creating these, of fitting together these blocks. They're not just, you know, random assortment of stones piled on top of each other. They're very precisely fit together like a puzzle. And yet different sizes. And so with each one, you have to try to figure out how to fit together these stones. Did they create them all a specific shape, knowing the entire pyramid and how exactly it was going to fit together? I mean, that just absolutely, that's impossible. And so they must have, you know, created them as they were going along and shaped them according to the last one that they put in place, and then see what they got to do to put the other one in place. And so you don't just plop them in every 10 minutes, right? You got to shape all these things. And these are the three daughters' pyramids. And here's the Great Sphinx. And look at this, some hieroglyphics. And some graffiti. Khafre's Valley Temple. It dates back to the reign of Khafre, 2520 to 2494 BC. Look at the size of these blocks.
Ah, le mec il est parti, t'as pris la mort.
And so the temple there that I just showed is believed to be dedicated to Khafre. And the Sphinx also is believed to depict the face of Khafre, the pharaoh, which dates it back to around the same time as the pyramids, about 4,500 years ago, 2,500 BC, the time period that Khafre ruled. Now, I'll just put out a alternative theory that is proposed by some alternative researchers, which is that the Sphinx is actually much, much older than 4,500 years old. I mentioned in a previous video Graham Hancock. He is a alternative historical researcher and archaeologist, but also very dedicated to thorough research and methodical evidence gathering. And he and other alternative researchers suggest that this originally was not actually carved with the head of Khafre the pharaoh. It looks like a lion's body. You can see the paws down there, and the front paws there. And the head seems a little bit small compared to the rest of the body. So it is proposed by some that, in fact, the Sphinx was created many thousands of years earlier, and Khafre came along and decided, I think I'm going to make the Sphinx dedicated to me. And he carved the head of the lion down into his own head. Now there's also evidence that backs that up, which is that there is weathering on the Sphinx that seems to suggest periods of heavy rains. And so I'm not sure if we're seeing it now. The Sphinx has obviously undergone restorations. That right there looks like maybe it was, polished, smoothed up there a bit, and then other parts are more worn looking and older, right there. But the time frame of 2500 BC does not match up with the climate that would have caused the weathering of heavy, like monsoon type rains. So between those two things, and then I guess maybe other evidence, I haven't, looked into it super in depth, but I've come across this, then they propose that the lion actually represents the age of Leo. And that puts it back to more like 12,000 years ago, not just 4,500 years ago. And so that would make sense. The age of Leo, the lion, and they create a huge lion statue. And that time frame also matches up much better with the climate that would have been more likely to have existed that much further back in time, 12,000 years ago, in which this could have been a lush tropical area instead of desert. 4,500 years ago, it was similarly desertous and dry. Egypt is incredibly dry. They get almost no rain here. The only thing that sustains them is the Nile. There is a narrow strip of life along the banks of the Nile, and you can see it from the train or the felucca boat ride that I took down the Nile the last time that I was here 10 years ago. Then you get vantage points in which you can notice that there's some green along the edges of the river, the banks of the river, and then half a mile, whatever, a short distance away, just boom, desert, and that is it. There is no life out there. And so if the climate was similar 4,500 years ago as it is now, then there could not be this weathering that seems to indicate heavy rainfall. So just a theory, and I don't know, maybe it's been thoroughly debunked, but one thing to consider. All right, next heading to Saqqara. So this is Saqqara. Saqqara was a necropolis. A necropolis is a place to bury the dead. But rather than just being a cemetery, then there are pyramids and a temple. And so this was the burial site for the city of Memphis, which was the capital of Egypt in ancient times. And we will be going to Memphis next. And so the pharaohs were entombed in the Great Pyramids, and the non-royals were buried here. But of course, if they had a pyramid, then they would have been important somehow. And so this is the step pyramid complex built by the king Nefertiti, also known as Djoser, 2700 BC, so a little bit older than the Great Pyramids. This is the largest known pyramidal funerary complex in Saqqara. It is considered the first large-scale stone construction in history and an important phase in the evolution of royal tomb conception towards a full pyramidal shape.
Hello.
Salam.
بس يكون عدم مولع طيب.
وسام دفع 20 جنيه.
يكون عدم مولع. عدم مولع.
The step pyramid, built by Djoser, the first king of the 3rd dynasty, the same guy that built this one. The step pyramid is the first pyramid and the first large stone building in history. The step pyramid is considered to be a giant stairway which King Djoser would climb after being resurrected to join the sun god Ra in the sky. And there it is. The tomb of Khagemni, 2330 BC. It consists of several chambers decorated with scenes of daily life, including scenes of dancing, hunting, poultry fattening, presentation of offerings, and shrubs. So it is a very intricately decorated building on the inside.
Small boats from papyrus, while here we have a big one with a big feet. That's the owner of the tomb. He appears standing here, but as you see, this part is damaged.
Pero esta no es una pero de un pero por favor. No. Esta no es
Esa es la tumba de el faraón cuando
this is how the hippo went this way.
That's like
Like
the most
you
dangerous
see
animal on
the
the
people on the
planet.
way back, you can see this.
More than the shark.
Very thin.
Yes. Hippo. Look at that.
This is the man of the tomb kind of neat.
So now the pieces that were above this,
Exactly.
in a museum or is they just
No, this part of the tomb was always open in ancient culture. They were paying for the priest who was serving in the tomb to come every day to offer the offerings to make sure the spirit of this man is coming back to his tomb. So this part of the tomb was always open. And the tomb in ancient Egypt was a complete tomb. So the walls, the roof, it was covered. Has been thousands of years. So the tombs were buried under the sand.
Yes.
And this is how we found them. And to protect them nowadays, we complete the walls and we put them. So this is all new. And this is the old one. This is original 4,300 years.
So this is what was discovered.
Yes. Yes. And when we go inside, we see more of and this part is the original part and the rest is the restoration.
And so this is Memphis. I guess there's just this outdoor museum to see here. Doorjam of Ptah Temple, 1550 to 1069 BC. As the god responsible at Memphis for creating the universe, Ptah held a very powerful role in ancient Egyptian mythology. His power is reflected in his many representations on stelae and the walls of temples where we see him receiving offerings as displays of veneration and reverence. Here you can observe two scenes, one above the other, of King Ramses II giving a small statue of the goddess Mat above and incense and water to Ptah below. So it's kind of hard to see here. There are some others that will be more clear. And so Memphis was the capital of ancient Egypt. The ancient Egyptians believed that their gods were like human families. One of the most prominent of these families consisted of the great god Ptah, his wife Sekhmet, and their son Nefertum, known as the Triad of Memphis. Here you can see the Triad with Ptah in the middle, Sekhmet on his left, and Ramses II acting as Nefertum on his right. Okay.
Yo he pensado que quiere internet para mandar al novio.
The Sphinx of Memphis, 1550 to 1069 BC. Sphinxes are often guards or protectors of ancient Egyptian sacred places. Some represent kings, pharaohs, with their human faces attached to the body of a lion, an animal recognized as the ultimate symbol of power. In this case, we don't know which pharaoh is represented here because there are no inscriptions on the monument. However, some theories suggest that it may even be Queen Hatshepsut. The Sphinx was unearthed in 1912 by Flinders Petrie in the very place that you're seeing it today. Ramses II, 1279 to 1213 BC, 19th dynasty. So there were different dynasties of the pharaohs, and so this is a much later one. This beautifully carved statue of Ramses II has muscular features and a stern facial expression representing his strength and power. During his 66-year reign, he built and developed multiple cities, temples, and monuments, including the administrative capital of Pi-Ramses in the Nile Delta. However, he never forgot his religious center of Memphis, building magnificent statues such as these to adorn his great temple of Ptah. Take a look at his right hand. Can you see the red paint that still remains on his wrist? This is one of only a few remaining examples of the elaborate color that once adorned Memphis statues. So this would have been extremely colorful. You can see the right wrist, there's some red stripes.